Okay.
Hey YouTube, I'm Kenneth Ryan.
I'm Linz Reesop.
And we're back with another exciting episode of Fanfiction Friday. Today we are going down a different fandom. We are experiencing Star Wars, but there's like a lot
But there's Star
going
Trek
on.
with cameos of Guardians of the Galaxy, Spaceballs.
Mass Effect, Star Wars The Old Republic, Independence Day, Game of Thrones, and Def Leppard.
I'm not really sure where those last two are going to come in.
You might be wondering.
Def Leppard probably has like a space-themed song or something. I don't know.
You might be wondering.
Or like in a music video.
What is this fic? We don't know.
We don't know.
It's a 13-chapter fic. It is called All Space Lanes Lead to Nowhere, and it is by XX, Princess Avril XX. And it's got 13 chapters, and
but
we're
it's
just gonna...
not that they're not that long.
Yeah, we're gonna feel it out, and we're gonna see where we end up. So let's go. So the Han Solo shot C-3PO in his annoying robot face with his DL-44 blaster. Then he shot him in his gay robot chest twice. Finally, he blasted the droid where his wiener would be if he wasn't a robot. He killed him because C-3PO is the most fucking annoying character in the entire Star Wars universe.
Which is the reason why we're reading this fic.
I love this opening. I did know that happened. I read the opening line and was like, I love this. Han was wearing a white space tunic below a brown leather speeder jacket that he won from a Howard Stern radio contest when he was 19 years old. He won it by sticking his wiener in a toaster for 30 seconds live on the air.
Oh my god.
This is another go-ass.
Except not as bad.
He was also wearing his blue trousers with the stereotypical Corellian blood stripe and some black boots that he found on sale at the Gap last week. Oh god, I'm not ready for this. He smelled like a bantha poodoo because the hot water heater hadn't worked on the Millennium Falcon since the black guy from Star Wars hosted a disco party and the fog machine had set off the fire sprinklers. Without hot water, Han Solo refused to shower.
This is making me think of the Star Wars dance.
Oh no,
the
that game.
Or whatever.
Shut up.
What move is that?
Oh, it's like ride, yeah, and then you're just like... Jesus Christ.
He also has like a disco party.
Oh yeah, they're probably referencing that. There's no way they're not.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Chewbacca sat in the co-pilot seat, licking himself clean while his heterosexual life partner blasted the gay gold droid to bits beside him. He offered no reaction. That's how intensely focused he was on licking himself. Pikachu? Is this Pikachu? He licked himself a lot. Especially when he saw that princess from Alderaan with the annoying voice. She was always bitching about something. He didn't like her very much. Chewie decided to rip her arms out of their sockets the next time he saw her.
My.
Don't kill Leia. She is my favorite. I'll be very sad. Han blew the smoke from the barrel of his gun and sat awkwardly for a moment, trying to think of a cool one-liner to say now that he had to rid the galaxy of the annoying plague, C-3PO. He couldn't think of anything, so he pressed play on the console, and Def Leppard started to play. Han really liked Def Leppard, but who could blame him? Def Leppard was pretty legit. Then Han had to pee, so he pulled the lever back into hyperdrive and
on the
hyperdrive and brought the ship into subspace. Chewie, he said, standing up, take us to a full stop. I need to go make water. Chewie uttered a growl and did as he was told. I'm nominating you to be Chewbacca.
Okay.
Utter a growl.
I don't know how to make that noise. I can't roll my
R's.
I
can't either. I can't. Han never really understood what Chewie said. But since he... Okay. I'm grossed out, please. He never really understood what Chewie said, but since he was Corellian and he had really good luck, he was usually pretty good at guessing what Chewie was saying. In this case, he guessed Chewie said,
"Fuck off, you asshole, I'm trying to lick my dick."
It would turn out that he was right. This is playing out like an episode of Arrested Development. Like, just the pacing. Han was in the back of the Falcon, draining the main vein outside the window and into space, and he heard his comlink ringing back in the cockpit, so he hurried back to answer it, wiener flopping around all willy-nilly, giggity. He answered it. It was the guy who says Def Leppard sucks in Joe Dirt. What the fuck is this?
I don't know, but should I do it so I can
Yeah.
read 2 paragraphs?
Yeah.
Def Leppard sucks, he said to Han, and abruptly hung up. In his rage, Han pounded his fist down on the console, which haphazardly landed on the launch button for the torpedo bay, launching an aft torpedo. As fate would have it, the Slave 1 lie in wait, aft of the Falcon. That was Boba Fett. Boba Fett? How do you pronounce this name?
Boba.
I was right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett. I was pretty sure, but I was like, I don't know. It's been a while.
It's good
Since
old
Boba
Boba.
Fett is the worst bounty hunter in the galaxy, that torpedo hit him, and he blew up and died. Again.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Huh, said Han, pausing a moment. I love this song. Photograph was playing.
Look at this graph.
It was Han's
No, it's a
6th
Def Leppard
favorite
song.
Def Leppard song. Or I guess you could say favorite if you're Canadian.
Favorite.
Favorite if you're Canadian or English. Although, to be fair, LibreOffice, my word professor, is telling me that processor is telling me that favorite needs to be spell checked. So favorite is probably correct. Fuck off. But did you get the joke, though? After he blew up Boba Fett, he didn't pause because he blew up Boba Fett. He paused because the Def Leppard song. It was a pretty good joke, I thought. One time my buddy in high school tried to kill himself by hanging himself in his closet. His dad went into his room to check on him and saw him and said, "Oh my god, that's my shirt." And moved my buddy out of the way so he could get his shirt from his hanger. That's a true story. That happened in the year 2000. The Boba Fett Def Leppard joke was inspired by it.
What?
What? This is the ramblings of a madman, and I love it. Is right. I can't believe this. Suddenly, there was a flash of light in front of the ship. A ship several times larger than the Falcon emerged from hyperspace. It was designated NCC-1701 USS Enterprise. Han quickly checked Wikipedia to see what kind of ship it was, but some trolls had vandalized the page for it and written Def Leppard sucks in all caps and bold right in the middle of the page. Han Solo didn't understand the beef people had with Def Leppard. I mean, there were a lot more current and relevant artists for them to hate on, such as Kanye West, My Chemical Romance, Modest Muse, Simple Plan, him, and Papa Roach. Although maybe Papa Roach aren't as current as they used to be. The hailing frequency flashed. Chewie growled. Han guessed that he said, "It burns when I pee." As it turned out, his guess was correct, but he wasn't sure why that was relevant to the current situation. Han answered the comm. You can be James T. Kirk.
I don't know what he sounds like. I forget. This is James T. Kirk with the Starship Enterprise.
William Shatner.
There's many Kirks. 2 Kirks.
William
I
Shatner.
don't know what Shatner sounds like. Came the voice from the other end. To whom am I speaking?
Wait a minute, came Han's response. Did you just say two? The correct spelling would have been two.
Well, Kirk stumbled awkwardly. My first officer, Spock, is admittedly a better speller than I am. I mean, even this Japanese guy flying my ship is better at spelling.
Oh my, was George Takei's response.
Is this...
That's Kirk.
Kirk? Anyway, who are you, and what are you doing out here?
Well, we were questioned on Voss, but we fucking hate it there. Han always stopped at Voss. He never had been past level 47 because of Voss alone. I was on my way back to the fleet to troll the general chat there. I was hoping the Wreck Ghoul event was still going on so I could troll with that too, but I had to stop and take a leak. Last time I peed out the window while in hyperspace, I ended up getting piss all in my face. It was so gross. We don't have working hot water right now, so I had to let Chewie lick my face clean. ...
said Kirk. Han replied with... ...
Chapter 1!
We can do more.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna power through this. Chapter 2. Oh, you can start this.
Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill and Mara Jade were making out in Mara's apartment on the Death Star.
Oh?
Mark Hamill was always kind of bugged that Mara Jade never changed her surname to Hamill after they got married. Who is she? It's like...
Maybe his, like, real-life wife?
I'm assuming so, but was she an actress in the film
no
as well?
No idea.
Because Mark Hamill's, yeah, obviously. But...
No idea.
Anyway, He worried that maybe she didn't really love him and was only married to him for his inheritance from Darth Vader. He didn't care, though. She was fucking hot. She had red hair, and she wore a black camisole over her huge tits. She had really tight black jeans on, and her lightsaber hung from her belt. It had a purple color crystal inside. Mark Hamill wasn't much of a purple fan, but it was good color for her. Her hair was red like the blood of her enemies.
Yes, it was.
They made out on Mara Jade's bed.
Oh my god.
Mara Jade was so into Mark Hamill that she asked him to bring some music for the makeout session. He opened his laptop and double-clicked on iTunes. It told him that it needed to update, so they made out while it updated. Mark Hamill was wearing his Journey concert shirt with all the concert locations on the back of it, and some khaki-colored cargo shorts. That's it. Okay. He wasn't wearing underwear because he forgot to do the laundry, and all his underwear smelled like pee because his wiener usually dripped a little after he peed.
Oh my god.
When iTunes was done updating, Mark Hamill put on All Along the Watchtower by Bob Dylan. He really preferred the Jimi Hendrix cover, but iTunes only sold it as part of the whole album rather than as an individual MP3, and Mark Hamill didn't want to download the whole album for one fucking song. It's ridiculous that they do that. Amazon and Google do the same thing. So frustrating.
Spotify.
Anyway, Mara grabbed his wiener, and it immediately went hard. He got the impression that she really liked the song. Mark Hamill groped one of Mara's tits, and they made out some more to Bob Dylan, which is kind of a weird artist to make out to, but Mark Hamill isn't one of the most experienced men when it comes to makeout sessions.
Who wants to be Mark and who wants to be Mara?
I don't know. You can be him, I guess.
I'm Mark. Ooh, I like that, whined Mark Hamill.
Shut up and fuck me, Mara said, throwing Mark Hamill down on the bed and straddling him in the cowgirl position. She shoved his rotund Jedi cock into her vajayjay and started to ride him hard. He was a premature ejaculator, though, and he was already about to come, so he used to force to make her come at the same time so they could come together, just like in pornos. Oh, baby! Mara Jade said, wiping up her brow. Sasuke!
Sasuke! That was amazing! Mark Hamill whined, his dick still in her. He groped her tit again, and the song as the song hit the 30-second mark. What is this?
Are you sure you have to go? Asked Mara, kissing him sensually on his neck. Since she was a girl, she could keep having sex if she wanted to, but Mark Hamill couldn't because he already cummed. You have gorgeous balls, she said.
Man, losing my virginity was fun, whined Mark Hamill enthusiastically.
What?
It was fun, he whined again.
You can't be fucking serious. Flabbergasted, Mara Jade took the dick out of her vagina and put her pants back on. That was your first time?
He whines every fucking line. Yep. Mark Hamill whined happily,
the next one, actually.
Sitting up to pause all along the watchtower. Mara looked to her wall-mounted comlink as it started beeping.
We'll talk about this later, she muttered, standing up and putting her tit back inside her cami to answer the comm. It was Grand Moff Tarkin.
Should I be Tarkin?
Sure.
Mara
that's
Jade.
him, so I guess he does whine every time.
Mara Jade, he said, pausing as his eyes went wide at the sight of Mark Hamill. Am I interrupting anything?
No, he already made me come, Mara giggled. ...
said Tarkin. Oh.
Yeah.
His book comes out in November. It's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait. It'll be canon too, which is nice. We have a situation, he said, still staring at Mark Hamill's wiener. He wondered to himself if Mark Hamill was using the Force to make it look bigger than it actually is. He made a mental note to look that up on Wikipedia.
I'll be right there, said Mara, closing the link. Mark Hamill, I need to go see what's happening on the bridge. Will you be alright by yourself?
Yeah, Mark Hamill whined. I'll probably just sit here and do light side stuff. Mara giggled and left. Finally, I can prove I'm not gay, Mark Hamill whined to himself. On the bridge of the Death Star, Mara Jade walked in awkwardly since she just had her vagina pounded.
For 30 seconds.
She saluted the Grand Moff for some reason, even though she's the Emperor's hand, so she doesn't have to, since she doesn't hold a military rank.
So
Jade.
What character was she?
The Grand
Since
Moff
she's a
spoke
baby.
crisply. We've received a report that the Millennium Falcon is in Sector 22B8.
Where the fuck is that?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. Tarkin said. The author just pulls shit out of his ass. He's good at improvising.
Well, we better head there, Mara said, turning to address the flight officer. Take us to Sector 22B8. The Death Star began to slowly turn, and a couple of hours later they finally entered hyperspace, since the space station is so fucking slow.
Oh my god, I love this. Alright. Here we go. Kirk.
Next. Oh, that was me.
James Tiberius Kirk sat on his throne, dropping a captain's log when the voice of Spock came over the loudspeaker. What the fuck does Spock sound like?
Very monotone, kinda. I don't know. Depends. He's unemotional.
Captain, another ship has entered the sector.
Designation?
NCC 1701 USS Enterprise.
What the fuck? Asked Kirk, pinching off his log.
We are attempting to
Oh,
make,
he's away, I guess.
we are attempting to make contact. Coincidentally, it seems like a more modern version of our own Enterprise. I theorize that this may be perhaps a...
OMG, just shut up already. I don't want to hear your big Vulcan words. Toilet, flush, Kirk commanded, and the toilet flushed. Kirk stood up and put his pants back on, forgetting to wipe his ass. He did that sometimes. People noticed, but they never told him about the stench, so he really had no idea. It's like when you have BO and everyone smells it except you. Actually, I guess it's exactly what it is. Kirk stepped from the elevator and onto the bridge of the Enterprise, and everyone on the bridge smelled Kirk's ass all of a sudden. Hail them, he instructed. The Russian guy hailed the other Enterprise while Kirk sat down in his seat. He spoke. This is James T. Kirk with the Starship Enterprise. Who are you, and where are you from? This is James T. Kirk with the Starship Enterprise, came the response. There wasn't a video chat for this because the author didn't really feel like describing what they're doing and saying at the same time, so we decided just to focus on dialogue.
Fair.
Look, if you had seen our 2 most recent movies, you'd know there's this whole alternate timeline going on. I'm the dude from that Tom Clancy movie and from that one trucker movie. Spock is Siler from Heroes. George Takei is that dude from Harold and Kumar. Uhura is the chick from Avatar and Guardians of the Yeah, okay. So what are you doing here, alternate Kirk? We got a report that the Death Star was coming to capture Han Solo. That's ludicrous. No, came newer Kirk's response. This is ludicrous. And rap music began to play from his side of the comm. That's ludicrous, you fucking dumbass, was older Kirk's response. That's it, he exclaimed angrily. Spock made a note of how illogical it was to become emotional over something so trivial.
So wild.
Ludicrous and ludicrous. He took out his iPhone and went to the Comlink app and closed the conversation. Then he opened up the Battle app and began the red alert for all hands on deck.
Captain, this is not logical.
Don't give me
said
logic.
Spock.
Don't give me logical, you green-blooded hobgoblin. Suddenly Bones ran in and said,
That's my line, you asshole. George Takei raised the shields, and the 2 Enterprises started to fight.
This is a trip.
Where are we? What? What?
How long have we been doing this?
Daenerys.
Oh, God.
See you.
Okay, Daenerys. Daenerys Targaryen. How do you pronounce her name?
Targaryen?
I've never actually watched Game of Thrones.
I believe it's Daenerys Targaryen.
Targaryen was riding on the back of Drogon, her black and red dragon. I thought it was going to be like black eyes, red dragon. Red eyes, black dragon. That's the way it goes. Rhaegal and Viserion were flying next to them. They were flying to King's Landing to take back her throne. When they got there, Daenerys stormed into the Red Keep. Daenerys was wearing a very skimpy blue see-through dress. You could see her tits in her vajayjay. She was clean-shaved. She had a small little sapphire pierced just above her navel. It looked pretty hot. She was also wearing some small 3-inch platform pumps in a matching blue. What she saw before her stunned her.
What does this have to do with, like... Oh, I think I get it.
Huh.
The title's All Space Lanes Lead to Nowhere, and the whole point is that there's absolutely no point, and none of these stories are connected in the slightest.
Probably.
I think that's, like, you're expecting it to go somewhere, but it's all going nowhere.
Probably.
That's amazing.
Yep. Joffrey Baratheon sat upon the Iron Throne. Before him, the Mountain, Gregor Clegane, or whatever, was standing with his pants armored down, his hands on the head of a stupid-looking man, while the man sucked his gargantuan wiener. Not only was this foreign man sucking his wiener, but he was also taking it in the ass from Hodor, who had an equally monstrous-sized wiener.
Wow. Amazing.
She can just be normal. Who is this man? Daenerys demanded. Joffrey looked at Daenerys with his smug little bitch face and said,
His name is Brandon Harrington. I thought it would be funny if I made him please the mountain while taking it in the ass from Hodor.
What? I don't get the joke because I don't know who that is.
I don't get Game of Thrones references, so I'm just confused.
That is disgusting, Daenerys said, acting as possibly the only character in this story that's still in character. Suddenly, a fountain of blood began to stream from the raped man's ass. He's being raped? Why? He didn't seem like he was...
Why is that the word?
And Hodor pulled out, having cummed in his ass, and ripped open his colon. Only a fraction of a second later, he began to barf blood as well, as the mountain's wiener cummed and ripped open Brandon's throat. Brandon fell to the ground dead. He didn't even get a reach around. Sex for him.
Like, what is... Oh, I know what that means. I was like, what does that mean?
Enough of this, Daenerys shouted and raised her arm. I have come to claim my throne. She ordered her dragons to attack, and they finally did. It was so satisfying. How long have you waited to see the dragons attack? And to kill Joffrey. How glorious it was. They didn't kill Hodor, though, because he's pretty cool.
Hodor.
That's the only word he said.
Said Hodor. Sure.
That's as far as I know, it's like the only word he says.
Daenerys approached her throne and sat down. She pushed aside the folds of her dress and dropped character when she began to finger bang. Don't expect another Daenerys chapter, though. There's so few and far between. This story will probably be over before I can write another one. Sucks for you.
Okay. Okay.
This is amazing. This hasn't even been half an hour yet. This
Really?
is amazing. You did Daenerys, right?
Yeah.
Dark Helmet. Oh,
I've never
God.
seen this movie, honestly.
This movie's wild.
I've seen part of it.
Oh, it's wild.
Never all of it.
Dark Helmet and Colonel Sanders were watching Red Dwarf on board the Spaceball 1. They upgraded the VHS from their movie to a DVD player recently, and they bought the entire series of Red Dwarf on sale at Fry's Electronics last year during Black Friday, or Green Friday if you work at Best Buy, which I think is a pretty arrogant thing to name it. It's pretty obvious you're going to be making green on Black Friday. Or is it Green Friday? There's a lot of parentheses going on.
There's parentheses inside of parentheses.
Dark Helmet's favorite character was Lister. I have to agree with him. Although sometimes Crichton is my favorite. It's hard to decide sometimes. Fortunately, there are two characters to write for, so Colonel Sanders' favorite character was Crichton. They were standing up watching Red Dwarf when Dark Helmet had to sneeze. Colonel Sanders started laughing his ass off because of something Crichton said to Rimmer, and the crazy face the cat made when he said it. "No!" shouted Dark Helmet. "I missed it when I sneezed. What did he say?"
Sir, said Colonel Sanders, standing at attention, it would be much funnier if you heard them say it rather than me. Shall I rewind the tape, sir?
"Prepare to rewind," ordered Dark Helmet.
Preparing to rewind.
Rewind! Colonel Sanders pressed the rewind button, but since he was new to DVD players, rather than rewinding a few frames of the show, he accidentally rewound the entire story. Han Solo shot C-3PO in his annoying robot face with his DL-44 blaster. Then he shot him in his gay robot chest twice. Finally, he blasted the droid where his wiener would be if he wasn't a robot. He killed him because C-3PO is the most fucking annoying character in the entire Star Wars universe. Han was wearing a white space tunic below a brown leather speeder jacket that he won from a Howard Stern radio contest when he was 19 years old. He won it by sticking his wiener in a toaster for 30 seconds live on the air. He was also wearing his blue trousers with the stereotypical Carillion blood stripe and some black boots he found on sale at the Gap last week. He smelled like Bantha Poodoo because the hot water heater hadn't worked on the Millennium Falcon since the black guy from Star Wars hosted a disco party and the fog machine had set off the fire sprinklers. Without hot water, Han Solo refused to shower. "Such a smeghead," Dark Helmet was saying. "Wait, stop there. I think you've got it." Colonel Sanders turned to look at the camera, observing that he was moving in real time on the DVD as well.
Oh, good. Red Dwarf started playing again, and Dark Helmet realized something. Walking to the starboard windows, Dark Helmet looked outside to see the Starbug.
"We've got them," he said, lowering the tone of his voice to its more dramatic presentation, and likewise lowering the visor of his oversized helmet. "Prepare to capture that ship. I want to force the crew of Red Dwarf to perform a live stage show for us."
Preparing to capture it, sir.
"Capture it." Cliffhanger, LOL. It's so amazing.
This is an amusing story.
This is the best thing.
Oh, this one's a little longer.
I have no idea what this is, but it's you.
Dash Rendar. Dash Rendar was chilling out, maxing, relaxing all cool, on board the Outrider. It was a YT 2100 model, a much newer version than Han Solo's YT 1700.
What?
Actually, now that I think about it, isn't it kind of crazy that the Millennium Falcon is a YT 1700, while the Enterprise is a NCC 1701? Maybe Star Trek was like, fuck you, our ship is better by one model. That'd be kind of cool if that's what happened. But I think Star Trek came first, though. So pretty much George Lucas tried to plagiarize, or Dash Rendar had his feet on the console and was jamming out to some Quiet Riot and playing Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on his Nintendo 64 while the Outrider hurtled through hyperspace.
Oh my god.
What is this? I don't know.
I don't know what they're from.
What's he from?
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever. He had just finished questing on Voss and was en route to the fleet to spend some commendations and argue with the trolls. He'd made sure to take his Rat-Cool vaccines so that nobody would try and troll him while he was browsing the GTN for mod upgrades. Suddenly the communicator started to beep. It was beeping to the beat of Quiet Riot, though, so Dash didn't really notice until the call had gone to voicemail. He checked the voicemail. Who's
That's Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Being attacked by and something about Vulcans. Who the fuck is Brandon Harrington? It was the voice of Han Solo.
That was my
Man, he hated Han. Long ago, Dash had been all hot for Mark Hamill, but he was still in the closet and was too scared to approach Mark Hamill about it. Han was Dash's best friend at the time, and even though Han made a lot of gay jokes, Dash didn't really mind. One time he told Dash he would like to suck a cock just to see if he was like, and Han's response was, gay!
Oh.
Mark Hamill became really close with Han, so Dash started to suspect they were butt-fucking.
He is from Star Wars.
While he's suspecting they're butt-fucking. The voicemail continued. Sebulba Sector. Hold on, let me scroll up. 22B8. If you can't tell, the transmission is really broken up. Dash sat up. 22B8? He thought to himself. That's the sector where I was supposed to meet with those smugglers to make a deal with. Aw, shit. He punched in the new hyperspace coordinates, and the Outrider continued to hurtle through space. Dash Rendar stood up and walked into his ship toward the armory. He was wearing a tight-fitting muscle shirt. It was purple and had a My Little Pony logo on the left shoulder. He also wore really tight-fitting jean shorts and flip-flops. His hair was immaculate. He had dyed it blonde during the early 2000s when he got really big into Nickelback, and it was still blonde to this day because of his crush on Mark Hamill. His nails were painted with a baby blue color and had glitter on them, because it's summer and after Memorial Day, so bright colors are in right now. He entered the armory and strapped on his gun belt. He put DL-44 blaster pistols into holsters on either side of his hips. He took a blaster rifle, LOL too lazy to remember what the model is called or look it up on Wikipedia. That is a real Star Wars website. And strapped it to his back. Then he took some wrist darts and put them on his wrists as well. Also beneath his wrists he put some hidden blades because he had just beaten Assassin's Creed 2 on Xbox 360 and was really into that right now. Then on his ankle he strapped a bayonet. He also did that for his other ankle, but he was wearing flip-flops so it looked kind of dumb. Then he put on his Cyclops visor so he could shoot lasers out of his eyes. He looked like his Vin Diesel poster He looked at his Vin Diesel poster on the wall, and his wiener got hard, so he rubbed one out real fast. He let it spill on the floor. It was pretty well known in the galaxy why the floors of the Outrider were so sticky. Dash Rendar was a compulsive masturbator like that one guy on Sons of Anarchy. Dash Rendar then took a katana from the armory and strapped it on his back next to the blaster rifle. Then he took his Glock and strapped that behind his waistband. As Dash Rendar entered the flight deck once more, he pulled the Outrider out of hyperspace. What he saw was ludicrous. The thought of that made him consider putting on some ludicrous, but he was really into jamming to Quiet Riot today, otherwise he would have. It's like when you don't listen to a band for a couple years, but then one day you hear them and you get really into them all over again. He was doing that with Quiet Riot now, plus they were kind of Def Leppard-ish, which helps me passively compare him to Han Solo without actually having to point it out. Which I guess I did now. Damn. Two big-ass ships, both designated NCC 1701 USS Enterprise, were having a space battle. One Enterprise launched photons at the other Enterprise. The Enterprise dodged to starboard and responded with phasers. The phasers struck the Enterprise's shields, and Enterprise turned to expose its port side, where its shields were stronger, answering back with a salvo of its own phasers. Those phasers hit the Enterprise. Dash noticed the Falcon a little ways to his left. I forgot left is port or starboard. LOL. Dash hailed the Falcon. The response came immediately. Photograph. I don't want your photograph. I don't know the beat. I don't need your photograph. Sorry. Han Solo turned down the Def Leppard. Dash Rendar really fucking hated Def Leppard. He considered himself a bandwagoner. Just like this one time my buddy was at his mom's house and all his brothers were there. My buddy was really into the Houston Rockets. He still is. Anyway, his two brothers liked some other basketball team, and when their team lost the playoffs, my buddy was like, well, I still have the Rockets. And his brother said, you're a fucking bandwagoner, even though he obviously wasn't. Not only had he liked the Rockets before they started doing badass, but it makes sense for him to be a Rockets fan, considering he lives like 10 minutes away from the Toyota Center, where they play their home games. Were you the voice of Dash?
He never had a voice.
Oh, you should be the voice of Dash. He's super gay.
Han, what the blast is going on here?
It's like shooting Moncols in a fishbowl, came his arch-rival's response. Suddenly, space before him flashed and another big-ass ship entered subspace. It was designated the NCC 1701 USS Enterprise. If Dash had to guess, he would say this new Enterprise looked as if to be of the late 80s and early 90s. The hailing frequency beeped.
Hold on, Han. I'm getting a call on Skype.
Ooh.
Dash answered his Skype call, but he didn't know how to use Skype all that well, so he actually added the Enterprise to the current call.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. To whom am I speaking?
Wait, said Dash. Did you just say two?
Just drop it, Han sighed. Before the Enterprise could respond, it was hit with a photon torpedo from the Enterprise. Picard dropped the Skype call, which made Dash and Han lose their call too, since Dash somehow accidentally made Picard the leader of the Skype call, so Dash had to call Han back on Skype. Except I don't really know what to make them say to each other anymore, so I'm just going to make them fight. The Enterprise turned and entered the fray of Enterprise versus Enterprise versus Enterprise. To help paint a clearer picture, the Enterprise was mostly unharmed, while the Enterprise had lost its shields but hadn't taken too much damage. But the Enterprise had lost its shields early on and was taking some hull damage. Decks 17 and 24 were all but lost at this point. Suddenly, space turned to plaid. The biggest ship ever made dropped out of hyper-plaid space behind possibly one of the smallest ships ever made. It was hardly larger than an escape pod. Space went back to not being plaid. The ships were designated Starbug, the smaller one, and Spaceball 1, the large one. It had a bumper sticker on the back that said, "We break for nobody." Dash thought that was kind of funny and chuckled to himself, because he could just picture how funny it would be if, in an opening scene to a movie, since the ship's so fucking huge, it would just be one ship flying past the screen for like 2 or 3 minutes, then finally you get to the back of it and you see the bumper sticker.
Is that how
That is absolutely how Spaceballs opens. Yeah. Spaceball 1 opened fire on Starbug. Starbug, since it's piloted by a cat, a hologram, a clumsy robot, and an idiotic human, accidentally opened fire on the Outrider rather than on Spaceball 1. Dash saw this confusion as this chance to finally eliminate his arch-rival and his annoying Wookiee heterosexual life partner, so he opened fire on the Falcon. The Enterprise, Spaceball 1, the Starbug, the Millennium Falcon, and the Outrider all engaged each other in open warfare while the author stood up to take a piss and think on who to write the next chapter about. BRB. Back. I just feel like we should keep going.
How long have we been doing this?
We've been doing this for about a half hour.
Really?
Yes. And we're over halfway done.
Sure.
Okay.
We can do the next one at least.
I think we should just
Maybe
finish
more.
it.
I mean, I guess.
It's literally, we're so close.
Sure.
Commander Shepard, this is you. Oh, this is me.
Yeah, sure.
Because I do the odd openings.
Sure.
Commander Shepard. Well, this works because FemShep is the thing, because Shepard can be a boy or girl.
Mm-hmm.
Alliance military had observed hyperspace disturbances in Sector 12345. The number kind of only an idiot would put in their luggage. The kind of number only an idiot would put on their luggage. Oh, I got it. And had determined it was possibly smugglers or arms dealers making some kind of illegal transaction. They dispatched the Normandy SR-2 due to its combat and stealth capabilities. Oh yeah, and Alliance military and Imperial intelligence work on different nav charts, so even though Grand Moff Tarkin said it was Sector 22B8, To Alliance Command, it's Sector 12345. You can be Shepard. You're FemShep.
No, look.
Yeah.
Seth Green, Shepard said as she stepped onto the flight deck. Seth Green was the pilot of the Normandy, but in the game he's crippled, so he can't walk, except for that part in Mass Effect 2 where you have to walk from the front of the ship to the back as Seth Green while the collectors abduct the crew. There's that one part where if you walk out of the stairwell too early, you get caught and have to start over, which is annoying because he's a cripple and he walks so fucking slow.
Oh, hey, Commander, Seth said as he looked at the console while the ship hurtled through subspace. The Normandy didn't have a hyperdrive. In Mass Effect, they don't have hyperdrives like in Star Trek and Star Wars. LOL, Star Wars fans are going to be mad, bro, that I put Star Trek first in that sentence. But instead have to use mass relays, which are like HOV lanes that do hyperspace part for you. We're about to hit the mass relay.
I don't know how. Did I just do it normally? Good, said Shepard, in either a man or a woman's voice. Since Shepard's gender relies on player choice, I'm not going to be arrogant and force the reader to see Shepard as one or the other. So just pick a gender and go with it, little bitch. Lil bitch. Put me on blast on MTV. I just stopped writing for a couple hours to watch Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit. I thought it was pretty good. I really liked Tom Clancy's writing, though, so that helped play a factor in my liking it. BTW, Chris Pine plays Jack Ryan. He's like the 4th or 5th person to play him now. And he also plays new alternate timeline Captain Kirk, so this is pretty much relevant to the story. Don't give me shit about it. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, Mass Effect. Thanks for reminding me.
This is amazing.
The ship suddenly rocked in space and alarms began to ring. It had been 5 hours since the paragraph that took place 2 paragraphs ago. Everyone strapped into their stations. Report, Shepard said from the command console aft of the flight deck.
We've got hostiles, said Seth Green. That's also a Half-Life Easter egg. Just FYI.
Gunners, to stations, Shepard ordered redundantly, because as I just said a second ago, everyone was at their stations. Kelly Chambers, Shepard's attendant, stood beside him. It's a him? Now, suddenly?
I guess.
Shepard looked at her tits. Man, she was a fucking babe. She had light ash burn hair, the face of a doll, striking blue eyes. She used to wear standard Alliance fatigues, but as her commanding officer, Shepard had ordered her a new wardrobe, so she was wearing sky-high platforms, a super tiny miniskirt, and a corset that cut off just below her tits, and nothing beneath the corset, so that her tits were hanging free for everyone, especially Shepard, to see. They were pretty great tits. Shepard reached out and squeezed one. That might be gay if you're picturing your Shepard as a woman, but there's nothing wrong with it if it's gay. Lesbos are pretty sweet. If your Shepard is a man, then his dick got erect from groping her tit. Shepard used his/her free hand to pull up a tactical map of the Normandy. What Shepard saw was astonishing. Shepard immediately recognized the starship's Enterprise from growing up on Earth, since this Shepard chose their background as an Earthling during character creation. But to see 3 of them at once was mind-boggling. Shepard was even more amazed to see them fighting each other, as well as 2 raggedy old ships, a tiny mining vessel, and the biggest ship he'd ever seen with a giant bumper sticker on the back of it.
Brace for impact, came Seth Green's call over the loudspeaker. The Normandy rocked again as it took fire from starboard. Shepard looked at the map to identify the attacker. It was the Starship Enterprise.
I'm Commander Shepard, Shepard said into the comm to anyone that could be listening. You're a fucking dumbass for attacking us. We've defeated Sarin? The Collectors, and the Reapers. At least I'm guessing they defeated the Reapers. I never actually finished Mass Effect 3. Keeps freezing on me at a certain point. If you continue to fire, we'll be forced to annihilate you. Shepard still had their hand on Chambers' tit. It was really soft, like Jell-O. Shepard squeezed her tit and she giggled again. Just then a voice crackled over the comm.
Oh.
This is a different game.
Yeah. Did someone call for backup? A Winnebago came screaming through space. It was covered in plaid and flew just past the Normandy.
Lone Star, Shepard said, and Barf! You're 30 minutes late. I get half off. Lone Star and Barf were making a living with their small intergalactic pizza delivery company now that they had defeated Pizza the Hut during the movie Spaceballs. 1989. Shepard ordered from them 3 times a week. His favorite pizza was grilled chicken and pineapples with extra cheese and light on the sauce. Sometimes he got it with stuffed crust if he had an extra couple of bucks. So they're Pizza Hut.
I don't know who Uncle Buck is, but you can do it.
Isn't Is that who is talking already, or is that?
Sorry, yeah, I said Uncle Buck.
But no, but you voiced whoever.
That was Lone Star who was talking.
Oh, okay.
This is someone else.
Sorry about that, said Uncle Buck from the Winnebago.
Oh my god.
We just can't stop helping ourselves to the pie. Why the fuck are we talking about pizza when we're under attack? Shepard demanded, squeezing Kelly Chambers' tit again. Shepard's hand is pretty much going to be on her tit for this whole chapter, if you haven't noticed. The Normandy turned hard to port and opened fire with its beam thing on the Enterprise. Normandy was in stealth mode, so it was really hard to hit, in case you were wondering why it hadn't been blown up yet. But since the Enterprise is from Star Trek, and they're used to fighting Klingons, birds of prey, who are usually cloaked, the Enterprise is pretty good at anti-stealth stuff. At least I guess. I would have heard about it by now if the Enterprise blew up two Klingons. I mean, it was like 20 years ago. The Winnebago had raided before with its guild, so it knew about focus firing. Shepard reached out with their free hand and marked the Enterprise on the 3D star map and put a raid marker over the Enterprise. It was the purple diamond, so the Winnebago tried to CC it, but it didn't work because the Normandy shot it and took it out of CC by mistake. Also, since it got CC'd, and the Enterprise was back to full hull and shield integrity.
Oh?
What is CCing?
I have no idea.
Out of nowhere, a song started to blare outside in space, loud enough for everyone to hear it. It was Hooked on a Feeling. Guardians of the Galaxy coming in.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hooked on a Feeling. Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my god, there's so much left. I'm so okay with this. Although, is the internet okay with
should
this?
we split into, or...
We did read 7, and we can just do the other half. So, yeah, that was the first half
of this thing, which is a trip.
And obviously, we're gonna finish the second half.
Yeah.
We have to.
Sure, just sitting strangely.
But that was it. I can't believe we're doing this, but I love it. Thoughts?
I like parody / humor fix.
Yeah, this is blowing my mind, dude. I'm like,
where
what?
the author is just like,
I don't give a
whatever
shit.
they feel
I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck.
Jin.
I love him.
Mostly Jin's version, though.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already.
Look at those lights.
Oh, yikes. We have awesome new content that comes out every week on this channel. Every day. Weekday. You know what I mean. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will join you next week with the second half of All Space Lanes Lead to Nowhere. Until then, stay awesome, read more smut. Bye.